Hi, Dr. Mike Cubbin again. I want to talk to you a little bit about how you're going to launch Speak English with Me for your administration, for your staff, and for your students. How effective a new and unique and different program is when it comes into your school all depends on how you present the program, especially to the students. I've seen great ideas come and go in schools, some of them be shelved. Speak English with Me is not one of those programs. It is too important not to be presented properly. Let's be honest, teaching English language learners is probably one of the most challenging experiences any one of us can have in school, but it's also one of the most rewarding. When we see students come from another country, learn English, and go out and be successful here in the United States, it's a great feeling for us. Speak English with Me is going to help you unlock some of the pieces to the puzzle to getting our English language learners speaking English more quickly and more fluently. When launching Speak English with Me, a script is used because we need to make sure that you get across every important piece of that puzzle to the students when you're explaining this so that they understand completely what's happening and how the program is going to work and what the benefits are going to be for them. You know, a lot of people seem to forget our English language learners come to our schools every day. Why? They want to be successful. Everybody wants to be successful. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do, they all want to learn English, or else they wouldn't be coming here. If they don't think that English is important, if they don't think that speaking English is important, if they don't think it's important for their success, whose fault is that? It's your fault, it's my fault, it's all of our fault because we have somehow dropped the ball on getting that point across to them how important it is. We have miscommunicated the importance of speaking English to our students. You know the importance, I know the importance, every teacher who teaches in the United States knows the importance of that because we have seen it in our own personal lives how successful we are given our level of English fluency. So keep in mind that Speak English with Me is going to help clear up some of those misconceptions for your students and help them to understand why this Speak English with Me idea is so important. Now, the speech I'm going to give you is one way to approach launching the program. We have several different ways. This is one way. And this would be given near the beginning of the year, and it goes something like this. Welcome back, students, staff, and faculty. We are beginning a new program this year called Speak English with Me. We know that each one of you, each student in this room, comes to school every day, not to text with your friends, not to play around in class, certainly not for the lunches, certainly not for the lunches. We know that you come here because you want to be successful, or you wouldn't be here. We want to help you significantly increase the odds of you becoming successful in school and after school. And how are we going to do that? We are going to do that by starting this program, Speak English with Me. Starts with a button. We are going to give every one of you a button, and it's going to say Speak English with Me. They're in different colors, and I'll explain that in just a couple of minutes. But this button is going to help open doors. It's going to help open a dialogue with other teachers, administrators, and your friends and other students in the school. How is it going to work? Well, we know that some of you are shy. We know some of you are a little embarrassed about speaking English. And we know some of you think speaking English is just downright nerdy. You know, nerdy people like Bill Gates, he's a nerd, and he's having a great life. Jackie Chan, English as a second language, he's pretty happy. Salma Hayek, she's pretty happy. English is a second language. Antonio Banderas, second language English, he's pretty happy. And they all took the time to become fluent in the second language of English. Now, by wearing the button, you are going to be opening up a line of communication. When you see a teacher in the hallway wearing this button, you're going to be saying to them, excuse me, I want you to speak with me. I want to have a conversation with you. I may not be that good at it, but I want to try and speak more English with you. In other words, we want you to start speaking much more English than you have in the past. We know it's not going to be perfect. That's why you are English language learners. If we were to learn another language, we would be Spanish language learners. We would be Chinese language learners. We know that this is your second language and this is going to help you. So when you leave today, we're going to give you buttons. We're going to give you either a green button, if you're a 9th grader, or if you're a 10th, 11th, or 12th grader, we're going to give you a bronze, silver, or gold. Sound familiar? Right. Those are the Olympic colors. So green is starting out. When you get a green button, you're a 9th grader, you're a freshman. That is the first level. You are starting. Green is go. Green is good. Green is positive. Green is starting. So this is starting the program. If you're a 10th grader, you're going to be given a bronze button. Now the bronze button is the first level of the Olympic levels. As you start to work your way up, you're going to go from a bronze to a silver to a gold. We want every single one of you to be an Olympic English speaker by the time you graduate this high school. But that's not all there is to it, just wearing buttons. It can't be. What there is that you are going to, in a couple of weeks, once you've been wearing the buttons and practicing your English more with your friends, with your teachers, with your guidance counselors, with the principal, you are going to have the opportunity to go to any teacher in the building and be evaluated. They're going to evaluate you for your ability to speak English, how fluent you are, how much you are improving. So if you have a green button on, you're going to go into a teacher's class and they're going to have a card and it's going to have a picture on it, and they're going to ask you a couple of questions. They might just ask you a couple of questions without the picture. They're going to listen to what you're saying, and they're going to hear how you're improving. Now, one of 3 things could happen at this point. The first thing, you could be raised up to the next level, which would be great. The second thing might be that they listen, and they might want you to practice a little bit more. So what you're going to do is you're going to come back in a week. You're going to come back in 2 weeks. And you're going to be tested or evaluated or quizzed again. And you may go up to the next level. If you don't, they might give you this button. And this is a very special button. This is what we call a heart button. Now the heart button means that as a student learning English right now, you need just a little bit extra help. You need us to be speaking just a little bit more frequently with you. We need to be engaging you more often. This is a temporary button, the heart button. In a couple of weeks, your teachers, having seen this button on you, will be speaking to you more frequently. A couple of weeks, you'll come back. You'll be tested, and the teacher might take that away and say, you don't need that anymore. You're at this level, and let's continue working. So one of those 3 things could happen. Everybody with me so far? Good. Okay, now, I'll make you a deal. If after a few weeks, a month, 2 months, this isn't working, you come to my office, you take the button and drop it in my little button bucket, and you say, Dr. Cubbin, this is not working for me. I'm not speaking any better English than I did before. So I will give you a button back guarantee. If you don't think it's working, give it back to me. But keep in mind, it's important. It's really important that you become more and more fluent in English, because your fluency is tied hand in hand with your success in school, and out of school. A lot of students tell me, they say, oh, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my cultural identity if I start learning too much English. It will never happen. If you're Chinese, you will never lose your Chinese culture. If you're Latino, you will never lose your Latino culture. If you're Korean, you will never lose your Korean culture. What you will do by becoming proficient and fluent in English is that you will gain a second cultural identity. You will be bicultural. You will have your native culture and you will have English. And this is a wonderful thing, especially when you go out looking for a job. If I were to look for a job in Russia, I would have to speak Russian. If I was going to get a job in China, I'd have to speak Chinese. If I was going to get a job in Bolivia, I would have to speak Spanish. It's a must that you speak the native language of that land. And you're on your way to it, all of you. This is going to get you there a little bit faster. So, over the next couple of weeks, I want to see you wearing your buttons. Ask me any questions you want. Stop me in the hallway. Speak to other teachers. Speak to other students. Speak to your friends. Speak to your family. Speak English with them, and speak English with me. Thank you very much.